Hi, I'm Scott. Welcome to the video. Now, today I'm going to be looking at getting some paint on this intercessor squad here. Now, they've already been assembled, based in black, and pretty much they're good to go. I've got to get out the airbrush and figure out what paint I want to use as sort of a zenithal to give them that armor a bit more life. I might do a bit of a blue, bit of a grey. We'll see what feels right. After that, I'm going to get some paint on the shoulder pads to give them that iconic look. And then we've got some other paints to put on the weapon casings, backpack accessories. There's seals galore because they're very zesty. And we'll sort of go from there. But just looking at the models, I thought I'd done a better job. There's a couple of mold lines I need to get rid of quickly. I noticed a couple of the barrels I haven't actually done. And this first base coat that I've done hasn't actually done a very good job. So I'm going to have to quickly get outside, sort this all out, and we'll start again. Alright, so we've got all the barrels done. They're looking good. But just before I get outside to start spraying, I recommend if you're going into the winter months here or you're in a colder environment, get yourself a baby milk bottle warmer. Alright, hear me out. This thing here, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Throw your can in, turn the sucker on. Now, I've set this to the lowest temperature setting, which is 37 degrees, but it will take it up from the ambient temperature in the room. I let it go up to somewhere around the high 20s, low 30s. Once it's there, turn this off, wrap this up in a towel just to keep that heat in there, and I shake the heck out of it. But I always find if I do that little warming step just before I get outside, it always gives me that really good application. I don't get any sputtering or whatever. So if you're looking for a different solution and you find whatever you're doing isn't quite working, give this one a try. All right. All right, back inside now. These guys have all got that second coat on them, looking a bit happier, a bit nicer. All the barrels are drilled. We're good to go. I've got my minis sitting here patiently waiting. I've also got my handy dandy catch box. I haven't quite got a proper filter yet, so this is all I have to do for now, just to catch any of that overspray. Also got the thinner here now. I've got both actually. I've got the thinner and the flow improver, but if you got any recommendations on which is actually best practice, please throw something down in the comments below. I'd love to finally figure these two out. And we've got some good old Abaddon Black or Abaddon Black and a bit of Eshin Grey. So we'll start with those, see if I like that colour, and if it's a winner, we'll keep going on. So yeah, let's get after it. Managed to get a zenithal on all 10 guys, which was looking really good. I started off with sort of 2 drops of Abaddon to about 4 drops Eshin Grey, and it ended up being quite a negligible sort of difference in the top coat. So what I did, just let it dry, got rid of the Abaddon, and went with straight Eshin, and it's given me that really nice jump in value. So on all the smaller details, it's going to give a nice sort of look there. There's a bit of sunlight actually hitting these marines here. So now I've got to go and get the shoulder pads done. Then I'm going to start on the weapon casings after that. So let's see how we go. All right, there we go, get in focus, looking good. Now, started off with the shoulder pads, the tabards and the purity seals and skulls in some of them as well. Gone with a base coat of the Steel Legend Drab. It was quite a nice colour just to give it that sort of darker feel. After that I started doing some stippling with the Xandri Dust, and it's helped give that sort of slight gradient effect, which I quite like the look of. It's first time trying it, but we'll keep going and keep practicing. After that, the final highlight was actually a mix of the old Xandri Dust and the Pallid Flesh, about 50-50, just to finish it off there. And I think it's gone all right. Everything looks like it's got some sort of light value, like the sun is shining down on this model, and I quite like it. But now it's time to put some some colour on the weapons, and we'll sort of go from there. After that, I'll probably have to figure out a good little highlight colour for all the armour as well. So, wish me luck on that one. I've been having a bit of fun here with the bolter casings. What I've gone and done is thrown on a layer of corn red just to give everyone a good little base and a good sort of shadow tone. After that, just to add in like this artificial highlight like I have done for the shoulder pads here, I've gone and thrown on some Evilstone Scarlet on all the faces that are pointing up, if you will. Now they're starting to look really cool, but the last thing I want to do is go in with a highlight of Wild Rider Red and really punch those values in the on the sharper points, the high points, and really sell that light. So we'll keep going, and let's see how it all turns out at the end. Gone around all the weapon casings and done all their base coats, the sun sort of layer if I will, and then a highlight on some certain edges just to give them that little bit of a shine. I've gone and hit all the leather as well, so that's all had a layer of the old Mournfang brown, and then the edge highlight with some scrag brown and a couple of micro scratches as well, just to try and make them look a little bit more worn, a bit more pretty and in the world. Same goes for just some of the details on some of the tabards here as well. They've had the same sort of treatment. Then I went in with a bunch of metallics. I'll say a bunch. We've got the old Balthazar gold here, and that's where, or on the bronze, be that on the chest pieces or in the ammo casings. And then a bit of the old classic lead belcher as well, and that's gone on everything. You can sort of see silver throughout this entire model. And gone through them all. Not too sure if I'm going to add a wash or not, but we'll keep going. I think finally I need to figure out a colour for the eyes. So either going to be red or green. Have a wee think about that one. Also, just to try and get a little bit more pop from the armour, I've gone in and done a little bit of a mix of old the white scar and Eshin grey, just to give me one little bit more of an edge highlight and some more little scratches on the armour, just so we get a little bit more of a read of colour and amongst it all there as well, just on the higher points. Okay, we're in a good space. I've got a lot of the colours on these Marines at the moment. They're looking pretty fancy. But now for all the details. So, Purity Seals, I'm going to do a base coat of old Screamer Pink. It'll make them look nice and slightly different from the casing covers. After that, we're going to give them a wash of the old Druki Violet, just to get that nice little comparison. And then to touch up with the highlights, we're going to throw some old Emperor's Children on top. Look very pretty in pink. After that, I also want to get some washes on the metallics. So for the bronze, I'm going to chuck on some good old Agrax Earthshade, and on all the silvers, we'll throw on some Nuln Oil, just to bring those down a little bit. They're a bit too sparkly right now. And finally, for some eye lenses, I'm going to go with red. So we're going to get the old base coat of the old White Scar. We'll throw good old Evil Sun Scarlet in there, just to keep them nice and bright. And then in the corner, I'm going to see if I can chuck a dot of the old Wild Rider Red. Hopefully it all works out beautifully and I don't have to redo the eye lenses too many times, but let's just do it and hope for the best. Wish me luck. Just to go for a bit more vibrancy, switched out the Wild Rider Red for good old Fire Dragon Bright. Just gives that little bit more punch in the at the front of the eye. Now I haven't quite figured out decals yet, so I'm just doing a bit of freehand, the old Gothic cross on all the shoulders at the moment, and it's a bit of a learning process. Haven't quite mastered this one, but having fun figuring it out. It's a hell of a hard thing doing freehands. I don't know how some of the others that are online, you see them do just masterpieces on bits of armour, especially for the huge walkers and stuff like that. Don't know how they do it. I'm sitting there struggling with what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. Oh well, keep going, keep practicing. Finally got to the end of it. Got the first 5 of this squad painted up, and I'm really happy with the result. Had a first time sort of figuring out how to do some stippling, and also trying out just block colours for the weapons, just to get that sort of light values, to have some shadows going on as well. and trying to get the lighting right on these skulls, so getting all the different paints in there just to try and show some volume or different kind of value, if you will. I'll get the terminology right eventually. It was called getting doing the edge highlighting on some of these leather pouches and a couple of the micro scratches to try and get those details in there. And I was having a bit of fun with the purity seals as well. Quite like the pink look on them, so I'll probably keep that up. One thing that probably let me down was the free-handing on the shoulder pads, but I mean, it's the first time. I can only get better, hopefully. But I'm sure if you look around on YouTube, you can see who heavily influenced this paint job on these guys. But until the next one, we'll hopefully get after the next 5 guys in this squad, and we'll get them painted up just as good, hopefully better. Anyway, stay safe, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.